Hello, hello, and welcome to the Fairy Coach Tarot channel. My name is Raquel, and today we have a love and relationship tarot pick a card reading for our series that airs on Tuesdays. Now, today I have a little bit of a cloudy morning, so it looks a little dark outside. And here in my setup, I hope the light is sufficient. If not, I'm sure I can try editing it with the video with a little bit of a more light. But this is making me think that I need a setup with a light on this side because a cloudy morning, that's why it looks like this. But this reading is done. Most of my readings are done for this channel in the mornings to get the morning energy. So here we go with a love and relationship reading. Now, again, this is a pick a card or pick a deck, and it's interactive. So you pick the deck that calls you the most, and then we look at the the general advice for your love life and relationships. We also look at what needs to be released at this time, what we need to let go of, and we look at what we need to focus on in the relationship or in our love life. All right. So let's get started. I always suggest that it is best that you watch these videos in a place where you're comfortable, relax, and you can connect with with your intuition and with me. All right. So let's do a little exercise as always with our breath to ground, center, connect, and relax. Roll those shoulders back. Relax your jaw and let's take one big inhale together. Inhale through the nose, hold at the top, and exhale gently, making that exhale always longer. All right. Now, pick a deck or pick a fairy intuitively, the one that calls on you at this moment. Ready? All right, you can pause the video if you need more time, but let's look at love, relationships, romantic relationships, I should say. And let's put the things a little bit out of the way here. Okay, so as always, we are going to tell the cards what we want from them. So set the intention, ask the question, and we ask that the spirits of the tarot give us guidance for our love and relationships. The main advice, we ask for what needs to be released and what we should be focusing on at this time. And with a prayer of protection to be with love and in love and in light for our greatest good. All right, let's loosen them up and see what's the main advice for our love life at this time. All right, so one card for each, very straightforward. Very straightforward for us today. So, main guidance here comes from the Six of Wands. All right, so the Six of Wands is a card that comes usually after things have been a little bit rocky in the five, right? So what this card is the advice this card is telling us right now, it is that this is a time to find a balance, right? To make sure that we are focusing on what's going good in a way, right? So if in the past or there have been arguments, discussions like that have been a little bit harsh, a period of instability, of change. This card is telling us, okay, right now the best moment to be in gratitude for what's going well, um, to enjoy the good moments we're having, to try to find a balance in our relationship within ourselves and with the role we play in our love life. But it is mostly a period that this card is telling you. It is a period that things are stable or going well, and trying to focus on that, trying to look at what to be grateful for. And it's not a time to for petty arguments, right? So this is the main advice, that the energies that are around are saying this is a calm moment after having lived probably some period of arguments or instability. So right now, focusing on the things that are going well and being grateful, and mostly staying calm, right? It's kind of like saying, don't rock the boat for little things. Choose your battles, right? And here, what needs to be released. So the sun is such a positive card, right? So how are we? What advice is it bringing us when we're talking about something that needs to be released, right? So the sun is saying release the need for perfection, right? So if you are in a relationship right now, and you understanding that relationships go through cycles, that no relationship is perfect, that a relationship is kind of a living being that we need to nurture, we need to make an effort with, that it's two people that grow, and sometimes they grow in opposite directions, sometimes there are misunderstandings. So releasing the need for perfection, right? So, and this goes together with the main advice of, like, right now, focus on gratitude and on keeping things balanced and steady, right? Because this is saying, kind of the same thing I said before, is do not pick on silly little arguments, so, or do not expect perfection. So this is what this card mostly brings. Now, for those of you that are not in a relationship, and the main energies and the advice that this is giving towards your love life is that right now this is more about focusing on you and your stability, right? And this is also releasing the need for finding a person that is perfect, or a relationship that is perfect. So it's the need to release the need of perfection, right? So these are the main the advice that the cards give us in relationship to one another. And here, what to focus on. And it is the beautiful card of the Fool, right? And what is the Fool telling us? The Fool is this card of adventure, of just moving forward in life without a single care in the world, kind of say. So if we are in a relationship, this card is saying, hey, the main energies are just to focus on gratitude, for things to be balanced, release the need for perfection right at this time. And the Fool is saying, enjoy the present moment, really stay focused on the present moment. So do not focus on the future or what is to come. I am a big advocate for having goals, and knowing and setting those intentions of what you want to manifest or what you want to create. But there are times that can take us into living in a future kind of way that creates a lot of anxiety. So the Fool is a reminder to stay in the moment, to enjoy the present moment. It's kind of saying, It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So, right now, enjoy the present moment for what it is. So, if you are in a relationship, stay rooted on what is now, not on uh, where it's going, trying to define it, trying to make sure you're reaching the next step, the next goal. No, no, enjoy the moment as it is right now. And if you're not in a relationship, it's the same advice. It's enjoy where you are in your journey. And sometimes we forget that being single also has, it's happiness is not guaranteed in a relationship, and it's not guaranteed when you're alone. Happiness is an inner process many times. So the Fool is the reminder of that. Happiness is an inner process, and staying rooted in the present instead of reaching the next step. All right. So let's put them together. So main energies are one of balance, of focusing on gratitude or just being grateful for what is right now. And if you are in a relationship, choosing your battles in a way that you are not nitpicking at little things when things are calm. Then we have on release is release the need for perfection, either in your partner, in your relationship, or in what you're looking for. Remembering that a relationship goes through cycles, and one needs to put effort, and it's two people, and it's a lot of things that come together. So releasing the need for perfection, and if you're not in a relationship, releasing the need for the perfect person or finding the perfect relationship. And what to focus on? Focus on enjoying where you are in your journey right now, remembering that it is about the present moment, not reaching the next step, right? And that happiness is an inner process. All right, I hope you liked your love reading for this week. Please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps the small businesses like me. And if you have a question about your particular situation or what you are going through, please reach out, and we can make an appointment for a private session where we can really look at what's going on in your specific relationship or where you are in your journey in your love life. All right, let's take a look at the blue fairy. See, for those of you who have picked the blue fairy. All right, shake them a little bit, wake them up, right? And we're going to tell the cards what we're looking for. We're looking for guidance, advice, and messages for our love life, for the relationships we're in. And we want the main advice. And then we would like to know what we should be releasing at this time and what we should be focusing on. And we ask in love and light for our greatest good at this time. All right, let's shake them, wake them up. And there we go. All right, we have two for general energy, general advice. No, two as well for what to release and what to focus on. And what to focus on, very, very straightforward. All right, let's look at the main energies or the main advice for our love life right now. And it comes, oh, look at this, the Six of Wands again, and the King of Cups. This one, Six of Wands, comes pair up with the Six of Cups. So what are the cards telling us right now? So pretty much around the same as before, with like that balance that we need to be striving for. But the King of Cups adds a different layer. So this is saying, okay, right now it seems that things are settled in, like, the energy is balanced, all right. And there might have been that period of instability around something or of arguments, right? So right now it is about staying in the present moment, staying in what's balanced, right? Try to make those choices based on on what brings calm. That's the best way to put it. Make any choices right now towards calmness, not, as I mentioned before, not as rocking the boat. And the King of Cups is saying, and the best way for you to achieve this is to achieve a good control of your emotions, right? So in order to for things to remain calm, to flow with this main energy of, like, not trying to initiate arguments that are unnecessary, right? The King of Cups says it is a moment that you need to manage your emotions, and doing exercises to regulate those emotions, because sometimes, and please remember, this is not excusing anybody, right? So let's say that you have a partner right now that tends to argue a lot, or they are going through their own things, and you're hearing this advice and is saying, well, you're telling me that I should not pick arguments when it's the other person that picks the arguments. So for in cases like this, it's not saying that you should accept any behavior that it is toxic, that it is damaging to the relationship. What it is actually saying is that you can manage your reaction. You cannot control the other person or the circumstances in which you're in, but you can have a control of yourself. So you have the ability to choose how to react or how to respond to a given situation. And that right now, keeping things in balance and not escalating things when another person argues, or when there is something that bothers you, but it is something very small. Sometimes when we've been in long-term relationships, there are little things that annoy us, and then really thinking, is this important enough for us to have a fight? So if it's not, just keeping things calm, balanced, you know, that's how we make this period successful. And remembering that it is about doing things that ground us, that keep us emotionally regulated, so we do not overreact to anything that we are triggered to, or we are poked, or anything. So it's about having a control of your emotional emotions at this time, keeping things balanced. That's what this calls the most, right? And what to release. And what to release comes from the Queen of Swords and the Two of Swords. All right, so a lot of air element, right? Air communication, that intellectual side. So the Queen of Swords is a very detached type of energy, right? It's a feminine energy, so it's still nurturing, still loving, still gentle in a way, but she's detached. She's not too involved, right? And the Two of Swords is that making decisions without having either the full information or knowing where to go. So, what the message these cards are bringing is on, because remember, we're looking at what to release, is release being cold at this time, right? So, if you are in a relationship and there have been arguments in the past and now things are calm, or this is the calmness is where you want to stay, and you are regulating your emotions, because this king is about being regulated, being in charge of your emotions. That doesn't mean to be cold, right? So it's saying release that need, the detachment, the coldness, right? Release that, um, because that coldness will invite more coldness, and what it will create situations, and this is where the Two of Swords come in, where you're going to have two people that are at odds with each other, right? That their communication is not, they are not finding each other because they are so so into protecting themselves. So this queen is saying, do not be cold at this time. Do not be release the need for overprotecting yourself, because what that will create is it will create a distance, and a distance in communication. All right, so even though this is calling for you to be in charge of your emotions, to be regulated, that does not mean to be cold and to be detached, right? Because that will bring two people at odds with each other, or that cannot understand. All right? All right. And what to focus on? And here we have the star. The star, I always say, one of my favorite cards in the tarot, although I do have to admit I have a lot. But the star is a card of hope and faith. And the star is the advice the star is saying on what to focus on. It is focus on the things, oops, sorry, focus on the things right now that. That bring a spark of joy into your life, that bring the things that are making you smile, because that is guiding you, right? That is like the star guiding you, the star from above. So anytime you find yourself in a situation where really there are arguments, there is an energy, try to sense the energy around when where you are. It's either with the other person, or it is the energy in the room, reading the energy in the room. And if you don't find yourself relaxed, if you don't find yourself joyful, if you don't find yourself even with a smile, then that's not the place for you. So remove yourself from places that are draining you, and people or conversations that are draining you. Instead, focus on things that bring joy, because what we're trying to do right now is to find a balance through our emotional regulation. And when we are triggered, when we are in an environment that even our own energy does not feel comfortable in, that's a sign of, okay, let's remove ourselves from this. All right, let's go somewhere else, let's do something else, and follow our star, follow that joy, because the main guidance here is that we need this balance, and we achieve this by our own emotional regulation. All right. I hope you enjoyed your reading. All right. Recap really fast: balance and emotional regulation. We will do that by following our joy and removing ourselves from where things are not going well. But having a control of our emotions doesn't mean being detached or being cold. So releasing that coldness, giving somebody the cold shoulder or giving somebody the silent treatment, it's not about that. All right. So again, if you are interested in a private session with me, reach out, either send me a message, look in my website or my Gumroad storefront, and see all the options. And by the way, there are more options coming now, that is April. So there is going to be an update on my services. I still offering the main one-on-one sessions by video or by phone, and the pre-recorded readings, but there will be a couple of other things to give more of a spectrum of services where you can pick. All right, so let's look at the yellow fairy for those of you who picked this. One. Okay, so let's loosen them up and let's ask the cards, set the intention of what we're looking for. So we are looking for guidance, advice, messages for our love life, our relationships. What's the main advice? What we need to release, and what we should be focusing on at this time in love and light for our greatest good. Let's loosen them up. I feel they are jumpy, these ones. Two more. And I feel this one wanted to come out too here. So, and two here. So these ones are jumpy. I could feel them as soon as I had them in my hands that they wanted to speak. So let's see, what are the main energies or the main advice that they bring? It comes from the King of Wands and Judgment. Look at this. So, what is the message of the spirit of the King of Wands, right? What does the King of Wands wants to us to know at this time? So, the King of Wands, that is this fire element, this king, that is passionate and strong, right? Is saying, okay, so around your love life and your relationship right now, what it's important is to show passion for what you want, right? And we can read this in many different aspects, right? So it's either bringing that physical passion, but it could also show that passion for the relationship in itself, right? And making sure the other person or what you are bringing is that passion of wanting the other person to feel wanted, right? To feel that you want to be in this relationship, because it's not only about physical passion, it's about being passionate about the relationship, right? And it's being passionate about the relationship, feeling passion for what for the other person, and also because what this will do is things from the past, right, that sometimes are coming to the surface, may have, how to say it, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, or even in new relationships where there are misunderstandings, right? When we get caught up in that past, right? We forget the good reasons, or to show how much we want the relationship, how much we want the other person. And this king is what is calling you to do, for a better word. This king is calling you to show passion for the relationship, to show passion for the other person, to let them know how much you want this, right, to work. And to move forward in that way right now, showing how much you want this. And if you're not in a relationship, right, what is this king coming to tell you, right? And this king is saying that right now, if your goal is to be in a relationship, you need to be this passionate about trying to find someone, right? So this king is also not a passive king. He's one of those that you would say, I, I wouldn't call him bubbly. I would say, very overt, very out there, you know. He's a fire element, so he's in control, but at the same time he's a go-getter, right? He's a go-getter king. And this is what the king is saying. If you are in a relationship, don't be passive about it, right? If there is something that's calling you, like if you have the need, or you feel that call of like, hey, I want to be in a relationship, do not worry about the past. The past have only been lessons. This is about taking action and being proactive in your future, and being passionate about what you want. not being afraid of saying, hey, I want this, and I want you, or I want this relationship. So very forward, very go-getter. um, the past, leaving the past behind, right? Just learning the lesson, but it's about being this go-getter king. And what to release. All right, let's put them in order. So what to release? We have the High Priestess, so Major Arcana, and the Page of Cups and the King of Cups. Look at this. Interesting. So the High Priestess starts bringing us this message of, remember, this is based on the position they are in, that it is release. Um, and again, it goes with this because we were saying how this king is a go-getter, right? He's out there, and it's not about being coy or being modest or being demure at this time. It's about feeling passionate and being passionate about what you want, right? The high priestess, that is usually more quiet, more intuitive, very guarded, right? And is saying this: the release being too guarded at this time, right? Release that part of yourself that is more shy. The king is calling for getting out of your comfort zone if you're an introvert, being more passionate, being more of a go-getter. So right now, what needs to be released is that coyness, that shyness. Work on that, right? And good exercise would be ask yourself, how can I be less shy at this time? What would help me be more of a go-getter like this king? And the Page of Cups and the King of Cups say, okay, it's not only about shyness, it's about staying locked in your emotions so much, right? This page next to the High Priestess is saying, okay, your shyness sometimes comes from all these emotions that may be inside of you, right? These emotions that are not working for your benefit, right? There is an emotional side that is making you retract. It's making you doubt or be shy or not get out there, right? So right now, in order to release this, ask yourself, what is it right now that makes me want to retreat, right? What emotions are coming up that are making me feel uncomfortable getting out there, being passionate about my life, passionate about the relationship, right? And saying, how can I manage these emotions? How can I keep these emotions in check, right? To be more proactive out there and show more my passionate side. Okay, let's see what's the step to focus on, right? And it comes from the sun and the again, we're getting the Six of Wands. Interesting. The Six of Wands has come out in all the readings today, in this one in different position. But what to focus on? Okay, what to focus on if you are in a relationship or if you're not in a relationship, right? And listen, again, moving forward. All right, look at these two cards, how we have them, and they are the sun shining. They He's successful. They are moving forward into the future. They are not worried about what they are leaving behind, right? They are stepping in confidence. So what these cards are saying in this position is, it's focused on your confidence, on growing your confidence, on moving forward with confidence at this point, with confidence in yourself mostly. And if you're in a relationship, be confident in this relationship if this is what you want. But the focus is on confidence. The energies are calling, hey, things, the sun will shine on you as you walk forward with confidence, right? So let's put it together, right? Because these cards, a lot came out and we want to tie them together so it makes sense. So the main advice here from this king is it is a time to be passionate. Be passionate about anything that you want, either in your relationship, be passionate about the other person, and be passionate about being in that relationship. Or if you're not in a relationship, be passionate about what you're feeling, what you want, right? This king is about being a go getter and going for it, leaving the past behind, right? Learning the lessons that the past has taught, but leaving it behind at this time. And I feel this is very important, right? And what to release and work on as to move from, to move away from shyness, to move away from feeling less of, right? So it is this feeling that is creating either a shyness or a way to retreat from either the relationship or retreat from trying to find the right or a person for you or be in a relationship. So right now, look at your emotions, look at what's making you retreat, what's making you shy, what it's making you not be this king, right? And you will achieve that by looking at the emotional side that is stopping you. So that's the homework. And what's to focus on? Focus on building up your confidence, building up, stepping forward with confidence at this time, confidence in the relationship if you're in, confidence in yourself. And if you're not, working on that confidence. And again, it ties perfect with this king because this king is a fire king. He's very, very confident. So working on that confidence and moving towards the future, learning from the past, but really leaving the past behind at this time, right? It's about moving forward, working on yourself, working on the confidence, not being shy, seeing what emotions are bringing that shyness or that introversion, and being a fiery king with confidence moving forward towards the future. All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. This helps me, helps my channel grows. It helps my business. I'm a very small business here. And remember, if you want us to look at your situation, reach out, ask for more information. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, or go to my website or my storefront where you can buy live readings or live sessions or pre-recorded ones as well. All right. And yes, like and subscribe, get the notifications for those daily shorts and weekly videos. And you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye bye. Brightest blessings your way. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching.